Yo, what's going on guys? HyperX here. Welcome back to another video for Elden Ring, and in this one I want to showcase my new and improved bleed build. Yes, you guys know that I love blood loss, of course been running that from pretty early in the game with dual katanas, but I have recently been messing around with the Twinblades, specifically dual Godskin Peelers, but of course you can do this without having two of those, you can just do it with two Twinblades. But either way, this is an incredibly potent way to play because when you power stance Twinblades and you perform the jump attack, it attacks multiple times incredibly quickly, so if you set this up correctly, you will not only proc blood loss and get huge chunks of damage off your enemies incredibly quickly, you will also, with the right armor piece and talisman, get a nice damage boost to those jump attacks too, so this basically makes for a very high damage, potent combo that can quite literally shred bosses. So if you guys do want to find out more, then let's get started. Of course, if you do enjoy this, a like would be super appreciated. Comment down below, let me know if you guys have been running any builds like this, and of course don't forget to keep it locked because we've got plenty more Elden Ring stuff coming your way. So to begin with, going through the build itself, of course you can see my character stats on the right hand side, largely speaking spec'd into Dex and Arcane, and of course all the other housekeeping stats, Vigor, Mind, Endurance, all that kind of stuff like that. But the main weapons this time around are dual Godskin Peelers, which are of course a fantastic twin blade. These ones are pretty much upgraded to the max, not quite 25. I do of course need to get some more of those ancient dragon stones, but this is pretty much as high as you can get it. And they are lethal. Don't forget, of course, if you guys want to get the Godskin Peeler, you can simply go over and defeat the boss at the top of the Windmill Village, located on the Altus Plateau. And of course, in doing so, in defeating the Godskin, they will drop the Godskin Peeler. Now, of course, yes, if you want a second one, you will need to trade with a friend. Thankfully, 269 very kindly donated his Godskin Peeler to me. However, do not fear, if you do not have a second one, you can still work with this build, because ultimately what you need are two twin blades. So, what I would recommend instead, of course, is getting the Godskin Peeler and then also getting the Twin Blade, which you can get incredibly early on in the game, literally as soon as you begin the game. You can pick this one up. I'll show you the location a little bit later on in this video, but this is an alternative. You can then run one Godskin Peeler, one Twin Blade. The main thing is you need two Twin Blades, which you can then apply the Seppuku Ash of War on, which of course, if you guys have seen my previous video or the dedicated video on that one, you will know this is a fantastic Ash of War that allows you to coat your weapon in blood, and in doing so, it increases your attack power and improves your ability to inflict blood loss. Of course, you can then do this on both weapons. Don't forget, as a reminder, if you want to do this, you need to two-hand your left weapon first, apply it Seppuku, then go back to twin-handed mode, apply it again, and you then have it applied on both weapons. Switching weapons will of course take the buff off, so do it in this order, and you're then good to go. Now, with two twin blades in hand, of course, if you perform your jumping power stance attack, which is jump L1 or LB, you then perform this very quick, very fast swiping attack, which hits multiple times, and of course, because it hits multiple times, it will then proc blood loss pretty much instantly. So this takes everything you loved about the previous blood loss build and basically just makes it even better. Now on top of that, I have also thrown on the Dragon Communion Seal, simply so that I can cast an incantation, and that incantation is the Swarm of Flies. This of course is a blood oath that basically sends a swarm of blood flies before the caster to assault foes. Now, of course, this isn't something you'll necessarily use in conjunction with your weapons in the conventional sense. It's not a buff on yourself per se, but it is something you can send out to give you a little bit of range to sort of like preempt your attacks that are about to follow, to dish out some additional damage, because don't forget, we will also, as this build is set up, get damage boosts from simply blood loss being in the vicinity. So this is often a nice thing to have if you just want some additional options. Again, I'll go through where to get that in just a moment. Now, on top of that, of course, for the rest of the build, there are a few other important things. You will again need the white mask. If you guys saw our previous video, you will know exactly why. This is important because this raises your attack power slightly when there is blood loss nearby. I went through how to get this one in a previous video. I will link that down below if you guys want a guide on how to get that. But this is a very, very important item for blood loss builds. In addition to that, we are also running with the Raptor's Black Feathers, which is an armor piece, and this is useful because this strengthens your jump attacks. So, of course, because we are primarily performing jump attacks with this build, this is a very useful item. Outside of that, the last two pieces you can simply just use for fashion, so pick and choose whatever you like. On the talisman front, we of course have the Lord of Blood's Exaltation. Again, same one we used before. This is useful because this also raises attack power when blood loss occurs in the vicinity, and this stacks with the white mask. This is very useful. In addition to this, we also have the Winged Sword Insignia. Again, don't forget there is an upgraded version of this. I still have not completed Millicent's questline, which of course I do need to do. But whether you have this version, whether you have the upgraded version, this is useful because it raises your attack power with successive attacks. So this is of course very useful because we are dual wielding our weapons, we're attacking fast, you can benefit from this. And the third talisman, which of course is a must, is the Claw Talisman, which is also useful because this further enhances your jump attacks. So again, this goes nicely. As for the fourth one, this is basically your optional slot. You can put whatever you want in here. I have temporarily put in Marika's Scar Seal. There is, of course, the upgraded version, Marika's Sword Seal, which gives you +5 to your stats. I've only got this in here simply so that I can meet the Faith threshold to be able to cast Swarm of Flies, but again, you can put in whatever you want in this slot. But with all that together, you basically have a very potent setup, which will see you gain an attack boost when blood loss is in the vicinity. It'll allow you to very quickly inflict blood loss, thanks to, of course, Seppuku on both of your twin blades. And of course, thanks to the jumping power stance attack, you can inflict it incredibly quickly, melt through boss's health, and do a ton of damage. So this is basically blood loss build perfected. Now, as a quick run through a few of the items I listed here, if you guys want some locations. Again, some of the other ones I have already covered in previous videos, so I will link them down below if you guys want to get things like the Lords of Exaltation Talisman, if you want to get the White Mask, or of course if you want to get Seppuku, the Ash of War. Those I have already covered. But if you want the Swarm of Flies incantation, you then want to go and fast travel to the Dynasty Mausoleum entrance in the underground city, of course, where you would fight Morg, and you then want to go and follow this route that I take right now. Basically, we're going to be working our way all the way over to a cave, which when you run inside, there will be a collectible, and that will be your incantation. Following on from this, if you are looking for a second Twinblade, of course, to go alongside your God Peeler, don't forget one of the easiest ones to do, which also has very nice scaling index. If you go over to the first step and you then work your way over to the Dragonburnt Ruins, you've probably been over here many times before. However, this time we are not going to be going to the chest that teleports you. Instead, you want to go to the right-hand side, and there is another part of the ruins which you need to access by jumping over on your horse. Doing so allows you to walk in, go simply down the stairs, open the door, open the chest, and you have a nice Twinblade, which can have Ashes of War applied, can be upgraded very nicely, so this could be your second Twinblade for this build. As for the talisman, to increase our jump attacks, if you go over to the Rampart Tower, what you then want to do is from this location, basically follow my route. We're going to be going outside, working our way to the top, doing a little bit of parkour across the battlements, and then getting all the way over to a ladder to climb up to go and collect this. I'll leave the route running so you guys can see where you need to go. And then finally, if you guys want to grab the Raven armor piece, you need to go over to the Sage's Cave, which of course is located over here on the Altus Plateau, so over on the left portion of the map. And then you need to simply follow the route that I'm taking right now. It is worth noting, in this cave there are lots of hidden walls, so if you happen to see the route that I'm taking, and of course there's a wall for you, simply hit it and it will disappear. Bit of an annoying cave. There's a lot of skeletons in here, which of course if you don't bring fire will keep respawning, so they can be quite annoying. But basically what you want to do is work your way and follow the route I'm taking, because we're going to be going through a hidden wall on the side, which will lead to 2 chests, and in one of those chests you will have the armor piece. So, there you have it. There's a little rundown on the new Bloodloss build. Of course, running dual Twinblades for that nice, fast jump attack and insane Bloodloss build-up. Hopefully you guys found this helpful. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully you'll give it a try. If you have any questions, by all means let me know in the comments down below. And of course, if you missed our recent video, be sure to check out this one and stay tuned to the channel for plenty more Elden Ring.